Hey folks, welcome to today's Mythic Vigilant Guardian guide video. As you can already tell, it's a slightly different format in that it's going to be a split screen format with comparisons between Demonology and Destruction because both specs are viable here. As the video plays on, the Destruction will overtake this particular part of the screen and I will discuss and overlay bits, and you can see the respective DPS that I pulled in relation to the other Warlock, because you'll actually find that we swap specs based on performance here. So without any further delay, let's get into it. So quickly onto Soulbinds and Legendries then before we discuss tactics. So it comes as no surprise for Demonology that you're going to be running Night Fae Dreamweaver, and for Destruction you do have a few options. Progression recommendation would also to be used Dreamweaver Night Fae, but if you're either passing or strapped for time and you want quick spec swaps in between without the need of swapping out and swapping in, you have Karain Night Fae if you're going to be dual specking the raid and bouncing between the two specs, because Karain will work well. If you're going for a full passing run for Destruction, then you're going to want to be playing Kyrian and Mechanicos for that. Onto the Legendaries then, it's thankfully a very straightforward choice for either spec purely because of the fight type, which we will discuss when it comes to the tactic stage. But you'll be using Wilfred's Sigil of Summoning, and then you will be using your Unity Legendary, which will either grant you your Decaying Soul Satchel effect if you are playing Night Fae, or it will be your Languished Soul Detritus if you are Kyrian. The tooltips are on the screen, and let's get into the tactics then. Onto the tactics then. So, unlike normal and heroic, you are dealing with the Vigilant Guardian from the very start of the encounter. He rolls out of the wall and will be with you while you are dealing with the adds in the first defense matrix. That isn't really a problem, but it does mean that the fight becomes a 3-tank fight, because you're going to want the 2 tanks to deal with Vigilant Guardian, and the third is going to be the add tank. And it's this add tank that is going to dictate which spec you play for Warlocks. But that's a conversation you guys can have in terms of how comfortable they are and how quickly they can get these adds together. For the mechanics though, the other changes are the fact that 4 crystalline orbs, or spiky balls essentially, will be placed on the ground around the tank intermittently up until the boss is at 15%. Now, these will detonate if anyone walks into them, or if a boss ability hits them. Now, when they detonate, they leave a dot for a small amount of, mild amount of damage. I'd say small because we usually get told by our healers to detonate all 4 simultaneously, or as quickly as possible, and we just heal through it, and it's not really an boss mechanic that we really struggle with. So depending on where your guild is in terms of its gearing and how well suited you are, or how comfortable your healers are, you may want to do them in sets of 2, or like us, you may just want to pop all 4 as quickly as you can every time and just kind of chad through it. Once you get to the stage of the defense matrix, the boss will be doing ramping damage and will be overclocking. In Mythic difficulty, this means he is doing 10% increased damage every time he overclocks. This kind of makes it very, very dicey, so what you want to do in order to remove those overclock stacks, and to stop him from casting more, is as soon as the defense matrix is killed, or available to be killed, you want to swap to it immediately, kill it, and it will drop an unstable core. In heroic and normal difficulty, these unstable cores are the things that you carry to the center of the room to force the boss to come out of the wall. This time though, you just get them under the boss and throw them to him. This is usually a task assigned to melee DPS, but if the melee DPS aren't on form, it's something that we can do as a Warlock. Just quickly soul shape in, or through good positioning, we can get it to the boss quite quickly. That's pretty much it in terms of the changes to Mythic. You deal with the unstable cores, you deal with the data, and you deal with the adds as they come through. It's a much more engaging fight on Mythic than it is on normal or heroic, because you're not having periods of just sat there waiting for things to happen while you're hiding under a defense matrix, for instance. My personal recommendations for this, if you're going to be kind of progressing this normally, If you have something like a Paladin, tank, or something like a Death Knight or a Demon Hunter that can quickly group things up through Avenger's Sea Shield, Gorfine's Grasp, or a Sigil of Chains and Sigil of Silence, then I'd probably recommend maybe looking into more Destruction. But if you're playing something Warrior, Druid, or a tank that isn't 100% with collecting adds quickly, then maybe Demonology might be a better fit for you guys. But hopefully you've liked this video. If you haven't, please do comment below and let me know what I could do to improve it, and I will catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, folks.